Here we go. Hi, welcome again to procrastination, and let's end that and focus on creating our dreams. So procrastination can be defined as putting our dreams on hold. So what are we putting on hold? Or more importantly, what kind of support do we need to move forward? So just gotta shut that window. I think to procrastinate is as normal as being human, and we all do it to some extent. And I myself do. So the question is, what is it costing us? Procrastination can be defined as, instead of working on important, meaningful tasks, we spend lots of time on trivial activities. So it could be anything: watching TV, playing video games, spending time on Facebook, social media, pacing around, constantly cleaning, and many others. Procrastination is not the same as laziness. Procrastination is wanting to do something but not getting the energy and motivation to do it. Relaxation is good for you and charges you up with energy. And procrastination, on the other hand, drains energy. So today we live in a world of many opportunities, more than have been available at any other time. These opportunities mean more decisions are possible, more choices. So many find it harder to make a decision, and many just postpone the decision. We could call it decision paralysis. Has anyone ever read Think and Grow Rich? Okay, there is a chapter there on decision. Has anyone read that chapter? I have. I think I'll reread it though.
I will reread it too.
How many times do you think Bob Proctor read it?
Probably 7 times.
He would probably 70 times 7. He would sit and read parts of it to us when he would do our talk sometimes. So
Really, that's cool.
yeah, he would read it to us. All right. Is there anyone that wants to share a little bit about themselves or about procrastination in your life? Anyone want to share anything about themselves?
Well, I've been I'm in this mastermind group. I've been promising them every week I'm going to make some TikTok, and I haven't done it yet. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with me? Then I thought, well, maybe I'm a little depressed. Maybe that's it. I have no idea, but I'm just, because I have made TikToks before, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But right now, I feel like I'm just, accepting what is this of it all right now. But I know I want to do it. So it's not like I don't want to. It's just,
maybe you might need a little support around that, huh?
well, I have had some support. I've had these really smart people who have worked on me because I'm in my mastermind group. But
Okay.
yeah, but
Well, maybe it's just not a priority too.
Maybe
You have other priorities. When it becomes a top priority, maybe you'll find time, right?
Yeah, because I got a lot of great ideas, but it's just like,
Okay, anyone? Yes?
no, I'm just, I don't know. I maybe have to just, I mean, I remember promising to do one, the first one I did, and I just did it right before a group of people doing TikTok, and they helped me post it up. But I just finally said, forget it. I spent 10 minutes doing it again and again and again until I liked it good enough. And they helped me post it, and then it was, then I did it. So I don't know what it is. I gotta do it, but maybe you give me an idea of why.
Okay, well, it has to be something that you really want to do. That's
I
motivating.
have to really want to do it.
Yes. Yes. We're going
And
to talk
possibly a
about
deadline, maybe, I don't know.
anyone else? Tony, you want to share anything?
Yeah, I have a big project in the house, and that is cleaning up paperwork, old paperwork, but I keep making new paperwork related to my business and the book I'm writing. And I did spend some time this week. It's a big job. It's huge. I got exhausted and I got overwhelmed, and I made some progress, but I think I just need to do it a little bit at a time. I'm not really procrastinating right now. I'm meeting it head on. But it's been accumulating for years. So there was procrastination involved. It's just too hard. It's overwhelming.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. You want to share anything about yourself?
For me, yeah.
Yeah, about what you do. You're writing a book.
Thank
too?
you. I'd love to do that. Yeah. My background is in healthcare. I took care of my mother for 14 years, and pretty much everything stopped at that point. Even though she was in assisted living, she was 86 years old. And I just decided I wanted to spend time with her. And there was a lot I needed to learn about caregiving. And, it was stressful. I'm an only child. I did figure, being in healthcare helped. A lot of things came easy to me, and a lot of things were difficult. And I kind of isolated myself from, my community and support. But after that, I decided I wanted to help family caregivers because the journey was just so difficult. It just seemed ridiculous that there was nobody to support me at the time. So I've done that. I have a couple of books that I contributed to. I see your Jumpstart book there. I have one of those and several others, but I really had so much to say about caregiving. I'm working on my book now, and it has about 25, 30 chapters, and it's about 35,000 words. So I'm very happy with the progress I've made with it. I do have a book coach, so I have deadlines. Because I'm finding in cleaning out the clutter, one of the reasons I was motivated was because I have notes everywhere. Notes about my mom's story, notes about things I thought was important at the time. And it's actually kind of fun finding those notes. It stacks, it's volumes. So I was just thinking today, I need to ask a few people that have written books, how do you know when you've written enough? How do you know when to stop? Because I'm researching, I'm looking through notes. I mean, and I'm actually having the most fun that I've had in a long time. And I'm putting a lot of energy into it.
Well, that sounds like you're motivated to finish it.
Yeah, I am. And National Caregiving Month is November, and I really have a deadline. Well, the ebook will be out before then because I have enough written to format for that. But yeah, this is it. This is big. And I'll be speaking at a number of caregiving conferences in the next couple months.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
I have a girlfriend, one of my classmates, who I'm in the virtual coaching accelerated class, and Leonie, who was an acupuncturist, doctoral acupuncture and she retired in 2012. But she's written the books, and she's working on, taking care of the healthcare, the caregivers, and the people,
Right.
helping them their rights of some of the people who are, yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, this is all for the caregiver. And I'm also in a certification program to be a happiness trainer. And
oh, good. I have a girlfriend who's in that too. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's cool. Well, the first
cool.
The first compilation book was a book on happiness, and that came out in 2004. So I got a lot of research on happiness. But it's fun. And today I was at a global happiness summit, so got even more
Oh,
ideas.
wonderful.
I have a whole
Wonderful.
notebook.
Well,
You know
let's,
what came to me, that when you know when you're going to finish your book is after you go through all your notes and find all your notes.
Maybe.
Then you're going to be for sure finished. But you don't want to, write the book and finish it, and then all of a sudden find some gems.
Something else. Yeah, there's some gems there.
you don't want to get too much action paralysis either.
No.
Yeah, well, there's probably multiple books, and that's the other thing I'm looking at, and to really be done with this segment of it.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good
Agnes.
luck.
Okay, I think someone popped off and I was going to just ask her. But Sue's an acupuncturist and I don't want to spend too much time. Yeah, she has many talents. Like,
Mhm.
so I'm just going to continue about the tools for creating habits that will propel us forward. So the first tool to override procrastination is motivation. And the most valuable commodity we own is not money, but what? Anyone have an idea? The most valuable,
How about consistency or persistence?
we all have the same amount too. We're all given the same amount.
Time. Must be time.
So money can be borrowed, saved. You can earn more of it, but time, you can't borrow it. And we all have the same amount, no matter who we are, or if we're rich or poor, or whatever our circumstances. One
That's
of
true.
my coaches, Mary Morrissey, says that, she divides it up into seconds in your lifespan. And she says, we're all given the same amount in our life. So the question is, how do you want to spend your time, right? So Steve Jobs said that he was motivated by knowing he was going to die. All his fears, pride, embarrassments all fell away when he realized and remembered this. The right kind of motivation can take you far. So the first kind of motivation is called extrinsic. And this is a limiting type of motivation. Doing something because you feel you have to do it, not because you want to. You see no purpose in the activity. So extrinsic motivation has been developed by others as rewards and punishments to force people to do things they normally would not do. Things such as working for a paycheck, or needing insurance, or making a mortgage payment every month, to feel accepted by certain groups. So these people are less happy and they have less creativity and less ability to learn new things because they're sort of trapped. And the second type, I guess, extrinsic can be called the carrot and the stick motivation too, or punishment and rewards. So the second type of motivation is intrinsic, goal-based motivation that results in joy, but that can dissipate easily. You'll see what I mean. Intrinsic motivation can improve productivity, but does not lead to long-term happiness. How interesting. So in the process, you imagine your future and visualize what doesn't exist yet. You dream maybe of a brand new shiny red car, a fantastic spouse, a fabulous vacation. The visualizing can backfire because our brain and feelings realize that we do not have these goals yet. So the person is not happy in the present. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. We have a new guest. Okay. So we're talking about extrinsic motivation and our intrinsic. First, there was extrinsic, which is the carrot and the stick. You do something, but you don't really want to. Intrinsic motivation isn't really the best solution either, because you get joy maybe for a moment, but it dissipates because you imagine your future, you visualize it, but it's not here in the present moment. Like you dream of a shiny new red car, a fantastic spouse, vacation, etc. So the person is not happy in the present because it's somewhere in the future. But let's say you buy this shiny new red car or achieve a great promotion at work or inherit $1 million. We feel a lot of joy and intense happiness. The question is, how long does it last? Once a person has accomplished a goal, we get accustomed to having that thing, and some of the high positive feelings actually dissipate. You tend to take that kind spouse for granted. Scientific studies have been done on how much money influences happiness. And they found that money influences happiness only to the point that it helps you provide for your basic needs and your family's needs. Beyond this, more money does not necessarily buy more happiness. So the question
Let's
is,
try that. I like that one. Give me a chance to see. Just kidding.
so what is the answer to intrinsic motivation that will dissipate over time? And this one book I read, the guy says it's intrinsic journey-based motivation. This motivation keeps you happier in the present now time. It means that you have a personal vision for something that you are becoming every day. It focuses on actions, not goals. It focuses on the journey and not the destination. So the real magic is in who you are becoming. So you can set up milestones for yourself to assure you that you are headed in the right direction. You can call that feedback. So the journey is really a day-to-day process and not just one goal. Your skills and creativity are constantly improving. This is a positive feedback loop, a state of flow. Time actually stops for you and you feel happiness over the long term. Feel happiness, then you will get your goals or results. Albert Schweitzer said, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. So, any questions? We'll go to tool number 2. The first one is your motivation. Tool number 2 is what I would call discipline. It is the core of self-regulation, the ability to overcome negative emotions. It will help overcome decision paralysis. You step out of your comfort zone. The subconscious and our reptilian brain are greatly influenced by emotion and not by the rational reasoning brain, which is our higher brain right up here in our forehead. We call it the prefrontal cortex. Our emotions are not always listening to our higher reasons. So yeah, a lot of times what makes people buy is emotions too. And then they'll use the rational reasoning brain to justify whatever, but emotion plays a huge part. So the question is how to overcome negative emotions that slow you down and paralyze you. And to do that, you need to build up cognitive resources that up your energy instead of drain it. So build small habits that set the bar as low as possible. This is about discipline. You don't run a marathon in a day, right? So teach your elephant, your emotional self, that you can accomplish something through doing something simple or small with constant repetition. Keep repeating until it becomes automatic for your elephant. Okay, I will tell you story of me and Sue during COVID. It was like March and it was cold and we were like stuck at home, but I wanted to, I couldn't even go to yoga anymore. I mean, I could do it at home. But one thing Sue said was, you can do this exercise 6 minutes a day. You are going to move all your major muscles. And that's, just 6 minutes a day, twice a day. I only do mine twice a day. You can do it 3 times a day, but it's simple. It takes 6 minutes. How many can do 6 minutes every morning? And evening, maybe 6 minutes. So the nitric oxide dump, I'm not going to show it. It's on YouTube and I've done videos on it on Facebook. But the point was that I developed a new habit during COVID of doing the nitric oxide dump. And COVID, as far as I'm concerned, isn't here anymore, but I still do that nitric oxide dump every day, twice a day. And it's great for, some of your lower leg muscles, your knee joints, all of that. One of them is squats. So there's 4 movements, but does anyone know the story of the elephant, how they chained the baby elephants to a stick when they're little? So when baby elephants are being trained in India, they chain them to a stake in the ground and the baby elephant pulls on the stake and they can't move it. They're stuck. They have to stay there. Well, they always put the stake in the ground, but maybe in a few years that baby elephant is a big, huge pachyderm of tons of pounds, but they still chain his leg to the ground with a little tiny stake. which he could easily pull out of the ground, but he's conditioned himself to believe that he can't do it. So he doesn't even try. So most of us have like been conditioned like that elephant when we were younger to, give up after a certain amount of time. It's about our conditioning that affects our ability to change habits. So I've read a book here. I read a couple of them but this is one. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks about how to condition your habits and discipline to make it easy, make it rewarding.
Mhm.
So if you want to, you have a new habit, like for instance, and you want to maintain it, but let's say you go on vacation or you get sick. So what do you do to get back in the flow of your new habit? You just start back a little slower, right? You don't, run 2 whole miles if maybe just putting on your shoes and going for, 2-minute walk or something. So did anyone ever stop smoking? There's a lot of habits that, people have quit over time. Anyone ever stop smoking or want to share a story? No? Sue?
Well, I stopped a couple of times, but the last time, my husband says, if you don't, he sees energy. So he says, if you don't stop right now, something bad's going to happen to your lungs. And I thought about Western medicine, how bad they are with lung cancer. And I thought, I am not going to deal with that. I immediately quit. No need for patches or anything. I just quit. And I knew I could not smoke anymore because my lung was going to be in trouble. So that was it.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that was good. The first time I quit, I had I was living in a commune and there was everybody smoking. I worked at a Mercy Hospital outpatient, and two of the girls were smoking. We smoked in the back of the pharmacy, and the house I lived with, everybody was smoking. We were smoking pot and we were smoking cigarettes. But Motrin just came out, and there was a guy who had throat cancer, and he couldn't swallow. And I thought, oh my God, I won't be, I won't be able to eat. I could eat lung cancer, you could eat, but throat cancer, you can't eat. So I thought I gotta, it's important for me to eat. So I told my girlfriend I was at a bar and I had my last cigarette. So this is it. And I don't know. I kept myself busy and I didn't even think about it. So I didn't smoke for, 20 years.
Wow.
But then whoever I hang out with who smoked, I smoked.
Good.
So yeah, I'm glad I quit. Yeah, I'm glad. I didn't smoke that much in my life, but I guess I'm sensitive. I'm glad I don't smoke. That's all.
Good for you.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
thank
many
you.
stories. Some people have used hypnosis. Some people have used patches. Some people, they start gradually. I'm only going to smoke like so many cigarettes this week, and then they lower it the next week or next 2 weeks. They gradually lower the amount they allow themselves until, so even gradual changes can be lasting. So
And
I wanted to just share, a story of conditioning, because we often don't realize how we're conditioned. So why were the German people silent while Hitler was imprisoning and exterminating Jews? And it was like, yeah, they're conditioned. They didn't want to, interfere with what authority? Whose authority here is there? Anyhow, I want to share a quote from Einstein. Maybe you've heard of it. He said, blind obedience to authority is the worst enemy of truth.
Mhm.
And my interpretation is blind obedience is the worst form of enslavement because you become the slave to someone else's idea of truth.
True.
So sometimes it helps to question why we do things.
Mhm.
Yes.
For sure.
So suggestion for you about going about your everyday activities. One thing you can do to think about your day as a positive thing is to write down at the end of the day 3 positive things that you attracted and write it down in the evening. And I heard that some family, I don't know, I had heard a talk that the parents would have great conversations with their children by just asking them, what good thing happened to you in school today? You know, they didn't want to hear the bad things or bad, you know, whatever happened. They wanted to hear what was good. So what does that reinforce? Something about the universe being good for you is supporting you, right?
Right. Mhm.
You can always be grateful that something is going your way.
Mhm. Definitely.
Agnes, in positive psychology, the study of happiness, they talk about that we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts per
Right.
day, and 80% of them are negative.
Mhm.
And that even if 9 good things happen during the day and 1 bad one doesn't, our brain just goes to the negative. So
Really.
when you have conversations about positive things and put your attention on the positive, it actually can rewire your brain if you're consistently doing that from day to day. So yeah, that's a good thing. I also, when I'm talking to family caregivers, there's so many things that happen during the day that just aren't working for them. But to get them to appreciate the experience that they're having and focus on creating memories and the positive moments. I do, I suggest journaling. I don't know that people do it, but focusing again, what went well. Just forget about the caregiver that didn't show up and the doctor's appointment that's screwed up your appointment and your car broke down. It's like, what happened? What was good? What can you put your finger on and share it with somebody?
Mhm. That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Mhm.
So you can start your morning too with how you want to feel. Like if you want, recently I entered into a contract to buy a different house, and I was sending love and gratitude to the seller that, they weren't greedy, that they were offering this beautiful house as, like a gift for my good. And I won't go into it, but I almost didn't get it. But I was sending all those good things out, and somehow the universe gave it to me. Because, yeah, that couple had a fight the night they got the contract, a cash contract, and he decided to cancel it. And so don't go to bed in a fight with your spouse, maybe is the moral of that.
Mhm.
But you can write good, positive thoughts every morning when you get up. I say my resolutions from Higher Brain Living, and it's good. Or you can just say, I greet this day with love in my heart. One of my authentic self declarations is, I am vibrating and exuding joy and unconditional love. I celebrate my unique gifts to empower others to expand in love. So we're powerful beings. We can create
Do anything.
positive thoughts and emotions.
Mhm.
So like Dr. Joe, one of my favorite teachers, Joe Dispenza, he says when you take a positive emotion, you pair it with an action or a goal. You take a positive emotion and a goal, and then you take action on that. That is the secret to creating something amazing. We do a similar thing in higher brain living. Right now, I'm going to talk about to-do lists. So I'm sure we all have to-do lists and daily to-do lists. So write them down, of course, is number one. Each day, the ones you want to focus on. Give the task a clear and pleasant name. So maybe if you give it a good name, like I'm my connection post on Facebook or something. I don't know. Break big tasks into smaller ones and group small tasks into bigger ones. You can color code your priorities like red, green, and blue. Like red might be something to do right away, etc. Make a path connecting your tasks in the order you want to do them. Set times you want to start and finish each task. Sometimes I can do it in the time I set and sometimes not, but if you can set an approximate time you want to spend. And once you start an activity, focus on nothing else. Don't let phone or the internet distract you, of course. And if you complete a task, you can like white it out or cross it out. So taking frequent breaks between tasks, especially between tasks, to replenish your cognitive resources. That's important. Relaxation. I mean, taking a walk, sometimes most of us have sitting disease. Dr. Mercola says it's the common disease nowadays is sitting. You can do a mind map. I haven't really done mind maps per se. I do my own higher brain map though. Sometimes doing the task first thing in the morning is helpful. Like I do yoga with my husband a couple days a week, and we always do it like first thing in the morning. We go to yoga. We don't wait until the evening. My husband doesn't like evenings, and there's too many other things to do. So we go first thing in the morning, everything gets dropped and we just go. If you get stuck somehow on your path, you can always find another path or alternative. Final thoughts about creating what you really want and desire. So there, according to one of my teachers, and I think he borrowed it from another teacher too. So we create in only 4 areas of our lives. So there's only 4 areas in our life that we really create and we should be aware of. So the first one is the mind, which are thoughts and emotions and beliefs. And most people really don't think about that as an important area of your life, but it's how you think. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that have written about how thoughts influence your behavior. I'm not here to talk about that, but the second part of our where we create is our body or health. and well-being. So we create that. Third area we create is our relationships with other people. And Dr. Cotton, a chiropractor, taught me that back pain in women is often related to relationship issues with their intimate partner. So it's an interesting concept, right? And the fourth area is our career or creative endeavors. So it can be anything that you love to create in the external world. It can be money, career, any artistic endeavor. If you like to write, that's an artistic endeavor. Writing books, it could be like creating this little class, anything. But I will say when one is too focused in one area, like some people focus a lot on career or money, sometimes relationships and health will suffer. And our thoughts and emotions can drag us down, especially if we're performing on autopilot in the subconscious. So it's good to think of these areas. And if you brought a paper and pen, I would encourage you, if you wrote down the 4 areas. So you want me to repeat those 4 areas? I'd like you to put your imagination cap on and see how you would like to feel about something. You know, maybe you're not happy with something that's going on. So if you find like something that triggers or something you would like to change, you can write down 1 or 2 easy steps that you can possibly do to change that. And how you would feel if you did make this change. So this is actually part of higher brain living. So I give you an example exactly. So I'll talk about my health. So every day I say these things out loud with some energy and breath work, but it's about my health. And so one of the things I wanted to change was like have, release some weight. I wanted to, feel healthier. I wanted to just be amazing. So I wrote down, these are my steps. I enjoy keto fasting. So I learned from Marissa Peer to always say, I enjoy something instead of, I have to do keto fasting. I enjoy whatever it is. I enjoy walking. Okay, I enjoy keto fasting. I continue yoga, walking, nitric oxide dump, connecting with nature. And how am I feeling? I feel vibrant, healthy, flexible, full of energy. I am ageless, forever regenerating. So you can choose whatever you want to focus on, and don't let the past limit you. It's not about anything in the past. It's not about what you're going to create now. Some people let the past influence them and limit them, but it's not about allowing yourself to be limited. So how many do we have here? 1, 2, only. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna see if would you like to do a breakout room, or would you like to just write on your own right now? Anyone have any questions about what I suggested? Maybe you like to create
I
more.
think staying in the group is good. I have a question because I'm in Florida and it's late here. I just wondered how long you're planning to go.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to be done in 10 minutes.
Oh, you are, okay.
less.
Yeah, I think just stay with the group then, given the
Okay,
time frame and
sure.
small group.
Sure. So the point is to think of how you want to feel, because the emotion will help you create a little step that you're, working on. So there's nothing that's written in stone that, our health is always amenable to improvement, as far as I'm concerned. If anyone would disagree with me, I hope not. But anyhow, I think I just envision my health. I have a little meditation for my health that I say every single day, twice a day. And I affirm that my health is what I'm creating. I mean, I'll be glad to share it with anyone. If you want a copy of it, just private message or email me. I'll be glad to send you my envisioning my health meditation, because Sue has a copy. She went to my retreat. And yeah, I love sharing. It's, I wrote it for my first retreat that I did. And so just think of maybe, one or two things that, action steps. If anyone has an, question about that, about where to start. So start with something maybe that you're not so happy about. Or maybe you would like to, what would you like to have? A great vacation, more money, more whatever. Some of the, I think, most valuable things in life are like relationships with ourselves. And I have top 10 ways to have more joy and connection in your life. It's a free download from my website. I think some of you may have gotten that, but it's a way, little things that we can do, like complimenting others. That's one of my resolutions for relationships is I enjoy giving compliments. It forces you to think that, focus your mind on that. Sometimes we try and find out what's wrong, what's wrong in a situation instead of focusing on what's good about your partner, or it could be anyone. So yeah, compliments are something that you can help use to improve relationships. Listening skills, how do you improve those? So there's those 4 areas. You can reflect on that maybe tomorrow if you want. So if anyone lacks energy, I have a special class that I do. It's about releasing weight, powering up your mitochondria, creating metabolic flexibility. So if anyone has a question about that, actually your mitochondria, they used to think decline with age, but they found through research that your mitochondria can increase in number and get healthier as we age. So it's not true that they decline with age necessarily. I mean, they do, but maybe we can focus, and that's what I like to do for my clients, focus on how you can build those up, the energy in them. So I've heard people tell me, like things they worry about, things that they cannot control. They worry about maybe inflation or the war in Ukraine. When that first started, a lot of people, you know, it was like something that they were really sad and worried about. Or even it could be like some virus. I mean, some people are talking about monkeypox, like, you know, should we be worried about that? Should we be worried that our health is going down the tubes or something? Can we control it? Can we control inflation? Well, we can control a lot about what happens to us by just reframing and just thinking about it in a more positive light, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, I have thought sometimes that, you know, I'm giving too much money or somebody's spending all my money, meaning, you know, like children or whatever. But some friend of mine helped me reframe it by saying, I am so abundant and I love supporting my family. I'm so grateful that I can support them, you know, to meet their needs or whatever. Think of yourself as being abundant all the time. And the universe is supporting that. So most of the times what we believe to some extent aren't true, or there's limits to what we think can happen. So, and a lot of times I think people have used the word failure or I'm not good enough. And to reframe that as feedback. The universe is giving you feedback. It's not failure. So, I mean, you can't move forward unless you get negative feedback, or, you know, sometimes you'll get positive, but negative feedback can be sometimes even more valuable. It's not failure. It's just regroup, do something different. Right?
Yeah, Agnes, I have a new take on failure. One of the speakers today at the summit was talking about two businesses that she started, and one, you know, failed. It didn't take off, but years later, the relationships that she built and the joy that she had just starting the business and going out and meeting people and networking and trying to grow that business, she's reaping the rewards now. So,
Yes.
you know, failure is a part of life, but that word failure really catches us, makes us crazy. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a negative term. The teaching too was look for the lesson and look for, you know, what did you learn from that situation? What do you carry forward? And then you never know how many lives you've impacted. You never know what will be gifted back to you in the future because you put that energy out into the world. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I thought the way she explained it was, you know, just really it had a nerve.
It's a
It made me rethink
journey
it.
for all of us, and where she became something amazing just from starting that business, and she didn't maybe realize it at the time, right? It was who she became in the process. It's not.
Well, right. And I guess I have a story like that too, because my business isn't financially successful. And I've been working at it for 3 or 4 years and have put a lot of money and time and energy into it and worry. But I met the man of my dreams because of it. And I would not have encountered him. And I'm just fine about the money spent and the time spent and, you know, everything else. My whole life has opened up in a whole new way. And I'm actually doing more volunteer work now. I'm giving away more services than I was even back then, and enjoying my life even better because it's given me an opportunity to impact more people. So that's a, there you go. There's a personal example.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Good.
So if anyone has a question about my retreats, my next one is in mid-September. It's probably going to be local here in Indiana. I do theta healing to help release self-doubt or worthiness issues. We talked about your energy powering up your mitochondria. Sometimes people do have energy issues. So, and just a little summary of a few points that I mentioned. I'm not going over all of them, but we talk about motivation being important to releasing procrastination. So, extrinsic is not good. It limits us. Intrinsic energy or motivation is better, but it can dissipate over time. But when you have this journey-based intrinsic motivation that focuses not on just a goal, but on the process of who are you becoming and what are you creating for your life. So maybe you have a business, like she said, that didn't do so well, but in the process, you formed a set of relationships that had great meaning for you. So relationships are a very important part of our lives. And creating a personal vision. So I encourage you to think about that. And it's part of my higher grain living. A lot of us don't spend enough time on our personal vision. Actions, to-do list. Yes, taking little actions that set the bar low so that you don't give up. Actions and try and associate your little habits with positive emotions and happy feelings. So someone said that the other day that they like to do exercise on I don't know if it's a bike, some machine, but that they always watch some video or it could be listening to music to help motivate you. Anything that, when I go to yoga, I'm always motivated by the music and the group energy, who wants to do yoga all by themselves at home. So, any questions? All right, I'm going to pause the recording.